Let out. That boy is on the stage. All right, now let me go. There we go. All right, cool. We finna get it popping in 1 minute, y'all. 1 minute. 1 minute, y'all. Let me invite some folks through up and through here real quick. Folks up and through here. I'm just inviting whoever's on the list, so don't take it personal. Get excited. You already know. Just inviting who's on the list. Don't take it personal. Send separately. All right, bet. What up, y'all? How you feel? It's the Merch God. It's Merch Life J, motivational, inspirational speaker for parapreneurs across the globe. Inception, the Merch Life origin story. That's what we're talking about today. How did I become the god of merch? What made me start merching in the first place? Why do you even what happened, right? Why does this exist, man? So buckle your seatbelts. You feel me? Take your shoes off. Make sure you're sitting down because this is about to get a little personal. All right, y'all. So if we're talking about the beginning of Merch Life, if we're talking about the origin story of Merch Life and why I ever started merching in the first place, we gotta go back. We gotta go all the way back to we gotta go back before that. I was about to say we gotta go to 2019. I mean, we gotta go to when I was 19, but back in 2010, but no, we gotta go before that. We gotta go a little bit before that. Good morning, Krista. How you feel? A woman for wellness. Thank you for coming through. I don't know who's watching on Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch, or YouTube, but get excited. Thank you for coming through. You already know. It just showed me a number. It don't show me your name. So my bad. If you comment, I will know exactly who you are. But if you don't comment, Valves, by the way. What up, Valves? How you feel? Oh yeah, we got a Twitch viewer, y'all. Somebody watching on Twitch. Where you from, Valves? Let us know where you from in the comments so we can give you another shout out. So the origin story of Merch Life, man. Where did this begin? Why does it exist? All right, so let's take it back, way back, all the way back to Alaska. It started in Alaska, bro. Not in Alaska, but it started when I went to Alaska. Let's say that. So when I was 18, right, my mom took me and my little cousin Brianna to a 2 week cruise to Juneau. We stopped in Juneau, Alaska, which is an island, and we stopped in Ketchikan, which is another island. But Ketchikan is the salmon capital of the world, right? I had no idea that this is where most of the salmon that you eat come from. So while I was there, I got to experience what like a first hands-on of what trading and outsourcing and what outsourcing and importing goods were, right? So when I noticed that salmon, they said it made like 3 billion or something like that a year, some outrageous number, right? I don't quote the number, but it was some outrageous number. With a B though, there was a B, it wasn't an M. So when I figured that out, I said, hey, it has to be something that I can do to get to this level of of finances. Something I can do to get to this level of being paid, right? And at the time, Zayden's mom, right? Zayden, y'all know Zayden right like that. My oldest son, my oldest child, y'all know him. He At the time I had just got his mom pregnant. I was 18. I just got his mom pregnant. I didn't even tell my mom yet, right? It was like sort of common sense because his mom was living with us at the time. She slept in the same room as me. You already know. We visited Pound Town every night, get excited. So she ends up getting pregnant. We're in Alaska on our way back, right? Actually, we're at the Philadelphia airport. We at the Philadelphia airport. You feel me? So we we waiting to like leave or whatever. I tell my mom, I'm like, listen, Kiki pregnant, right? So that was the beginning, right? She's pregnant. That was the beginning of the you a man now. You 18 now. You gotta get out now. Except I didn't have to get out, right? Except it wasn't you got to leave. It wasn't go somewhere and be yourself type shit. It wasn't like that. It was my mom telling me, "Hey, I'm moving to Florida. I'm leaving, and I'm going to Florida. But you, this right here, this is you. You got all." So, of course, at the time, I called myself, the trap star of the year. I was selling weed or whatever, and I thought I was, I thought I was that dude. I thought I was making money. Really wasn't making money. I was doing like 300, 400 a week. So I began to ponder, I began to wonder, how long can I survive off of this income that I have right now? And to be honest, it wasn't long. It wasn't long at all. So the very first time I ever got evicted from a crib was that crib, was that house, the house that I went to high school from, right? The house that I lived in from about 15 to 18. I was in that house. And on 62nd Street in West Philly, you already know, get excited. And everybody that knows me from that era knows that house because at one point when they started saying, "Hey, bro, the rent is 850," and I'm like, "Dang, I got $400." I started to do things like throwing house parties to raise money, what I call the rent party. I started to do things like allowing other drug dealers to come to my house and bag their drugs up, and them pay me to use the facility. I started doing things like renting a room out for people to do whatever they was doing in the room. I don't know what they was doing. Let's just keep it like that. I had no idea, but I know that they needed a room and I needed the money, right? So I would do things like that. But regardless of all those things that I was doing for money, money still wasn't right. It just wasn't right. I was spending it. I was doing whatever with it, and being very irresponsible. I was 18. I didn't really fathom what consequences might be for that. So long story short, I get put out the crib. I'm out of the crib now. Now I'm just feral. I'm in the mix. That means wild if you don't know. I'm in the mix. I'm going from this couch to that couch. Maybe my aunt house in North Philly, Johnson Home Projects. You already know. Maybe Mama Jackie house, which is my grandma. Maybe down the street, my man Sheer crib. Maybe Tony Stack's house. Whoever was available at the moment. I was just staying there, and I was just crashing. So one day, mind you, I already was a salesman. I already was selling weed. I already was selling drugs. I tried selling crack. That didn't really work out for me. That didn't really work out for me. Um, that's another lie for another day, though. But anyway, so so yeah, one day I'm in front of Bobby's, which doesn't exist anymore, on 60th and Cedar. It was a pizza parlor, a pizza shop, if you will, called Bobby's, and it doesn't exist anymore. But I was there, and I was on the step waiting to bust a trap. Me and my man Sheer. This is like my best friend. This was like my old dog. This was like we slept on porches together. You feel me? Like we slept in abandoned cars together. You feel me? We broke into houses and slept in there together. Like we was just drawing. We was drawing, right? Um, so me and Sheer was on the step of Bobby's one day, and I'm pitching the bud. I'm selling the weed. You know, I got 3 for 10s, whatever, 5 for 20s, whatever you trying to do, and really just beating myself because I was flipping like an ounce. And I wasn't really. So as I'm standing there one day, I busted a trap. Somebody came through and bought a 3 for 10. The next person walks up and they pull out a bottle of well, this is Givenchy. This is Givenchy, but they pulled out a bottle of Full Metal Jacket, which is a cologne, right? Which is a cologne. And I was like, let me smell that joint. So I smelled the cologne. I'm like, yo, this joint don't smell pretty good. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I'm like, I just wear oils or whatever. And I really wasn't even wearing the oils. I really didn't care about how I smelled. You know, as long as I had some deodorant, as long as I had some deodorant on, I was cool. I didn't really care about fragrances or designer fragrances or anything like that at the moment. And my man Tony Stacks, shout out Tony Stacks, by the way. Shout out Tony Stizzles in the middle. So my man Tony Stacks, he comes up. He like, what's up, Shiz? We dap him up. What's up, Jay? Dap me up. My name was Trig at the time. I got that name from my uncle. That's another live for another day. But he like, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He showed me the perfume. Show me the cologne. And of course, he wants to sell it to us. He wants to sell it to us, right? So I'm like, how much is this joint? He like, oh, well, in the stores, it's 110. I normally do it for 60, but you know what I mean? Take you for 40, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, not this one. I'm saying, like, how much? Like, I'm trying to sell these joints, too. Like, this weed ain't cutting it. And I smoke weed, too. Like, it was just, you ever seen the movie Friday? It was like that. It was like that. So, like, while I'm bagging the weed up, I smoke the weed. As I'm selling the weed, I smoke the weed. I'll sell you the weed and then match with you and smoke the weed. So it was just like, we were just hustling backwards. We ain't know no better, though, right? So I'm like, how much for these joints? And Tony Stacks is like, he tell me the price. I'm like, no, bro, I'm trying to sell these joints. He like, all right, bet. Come to the office on Monday, 8 o'clock. I'm going to get you a day of observation. You're going to see if this is something you want to do. Man, boom, wow. So I said, cool, I'll be there Monday. Bro, we walked from Bobby's, which is on 60th and Cedar. So after that, we parted ways. Tony went about his day, and me and Shiz went about our day. I'm like, I need backwoods. So we slide into the other store, right? Bobby's doesn't sell tobacco products. They only sell pizza. So me and Shiz go walk down the street, like literally a block away. And if you don't know what a block is, this is a 0.5, a half a mile, right? So we walk in a block away. How long do it take you to walk a block away? So we walk and we get to the other. As soon as I pull up to the store on Catherine, and I done forgot what the store name is now, but as soon as I pull up on what Cedar is right here, Catherine is the next block. As soon as we get to Catherine, my phone rang. I'm thinking somebody wants some bud, so I answer the phone. I'm like, hold up, Sherry, we might have to go that way. So we stop walking. I'm like, what's up, bro? And who's on the phone? Guess who's on the phone, y'all? It ain't Tony Stacks. You guess wrong. It's Easy motherfucking Mac. Easy Mac is on the phone. And I'm like, what's up, bro? And I knew Easy Mac. I knew him from him being at Tony house. But this was like somebody older than us, right? So like me and Tony went to school together. Me and Tony was cool, right? Me and Cher was like this, like best friends. Me and Tony was cool because we went to school together. Like cool as if I see Tony getting jumped, I'm jumping in it. But we wasn't cool as if like how me and Cher was cool, right? But we was really cool. So like that was my man. So I answer the phone. It's Tony phone calling me. I answer the phone. I'm like, what's up, bro? It's Easy Mac. Easy Mac, like, yo, Tony told you to come to the office on Monday. Mind you, it's Friday night, by the way. It's Friday night. He like, Tony told you to come to the office on Monday. I'm like, yeah. Wow, what's up? He like, bro, come tomorrow. Matter of fact, where you sleeping at right now? I'm like, wherever. Like, wow, what's up? He like, matter of fact, come here right now. Come when you. I'm like, I'm at the store. I'm about to grab some backwoods. He's like, bet. Pull up right now. After you grab the backwoods, you and Cher come here right now. So I go to Tony house, which is 4 blocks in the other direction, right? We we on Cedar, we on 60th and Cedar, they on 61st and Larchwood. We had to walk that way and that way. So we get the backwoods, we pull up to the crib, we on the porch now. Everybody rolling up, we all on the porch rolling up. And Easy Mac was like, yo, what you really want to do? Like, you trying to get some money, or you like, because I see what you're doing, and I know, like, come on, bro. I know you're not killing it right now. I know you're not. You feel me? So I said, bro, I'm trying to do whatever is gonna elevate my finances, bro. Like, whatever is not immoral, I'm trying to do that. And I'm trying to get this money. So he was like, all right, bet. You coming to the office tomorrow. What's up, Shiz? You trying to come too? Sheer was like, yeah. But he was like, yeah, because he just was like, we all was doing it. And it wasn't nothing negative, right? Because he's not stupid. He's not a follower. He's not gonna do something just to do it. But we all was like, yeah, we doing this tomorrow. And I was like, bet. So we came to the office, long story short again. I'm gonna make this long story long, by the way. We came to the office the next day on Saturday morning. And the office normally opens we normally start the impact meeting at 8:30. That day we started the impact meeting at 10 because on Saturday we just get a late start. Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock, and the impact meeting started at 8:30. Saturday it'd be 10 o'clock. Sunday we don't work at all. Right, so we in the office, and I'm in the mix, and I'm like, yo, what is going on in this joint? And I just see everybody excited. Everybody just excited to go sell this stuff, and they just perfume just like this, except for they not name brand stuff. You got like Tayamo and Just the Amore and Fall in Love Again, and all of these joints that are like clearly, but me not knowing because like I said, I wasn't into designer fragrances at the time, not knowing that these are just like remix. They're not knockoffs because they're not a fake version of a real perfume, but they're like remakes. So they're like, instead of me saying, "Oh, this is Iron Man," it would be like, "This is Tin Man." Like, if you know who Iron Man is, you're gonna say, "Oh, that's a fake Iron Man." But if you don't know who Iron Man is, then that's just a Tin Man to you, right? So I get the bag of perfumes. I go out there with Easy Mac that day, and I watch Easy Mac collect like $200 in front of my face. He turned to me and he asked me. He said, "Yo, how long it take you to collect 200 off the weed?" And I was like, "Maybe like 2 days, probably." It depends on like how fast the clientele moving, and it depends on how many other people are not standing next to me selling weed as well. Because me and Sheer, we both sold weed and we sold it everywhere together, right? So you could grab from him, you could grab from me, and it ain't the same pot. He got his money and I got my money, so it wasn't like we was pitching in to get something together, like a quarter pound or a pound or something. We were just doing what we did. So I told him, I was like, probably like 2 days. He was like, bro, I just collected 230 minutes. What you waiting for? So I said, all right, bet. I want a bag. Let me get a bag. So this is what initially turned me on to the merch, right? This is what initially made me say, yo, I'm finna start merching. So at the time, it wasn't even called merching. At the time, nobody even called it that. I'm the person that coined the phrase merch life, right? And I'm the person that created the acronym Mastering Excellence Requires Consistent Hard Work, Living Infinitely Fun and Excited. That's what the acronym merch life stands for. Get excited about that. So the excitement, by the way, that came from the business, that came from the company. I used to work for New Age Wholesale. So New Age Wholesale, um, this guru, right? So Tony was the guy that showed me the bag. Easy Mac was the guy that recruited me into the company. But the guy that recruited, the person that recruited Easy Mac was Junior Barrios, right? And we all called him J Rock. This man is like, I still to this day have never seen him upset before. Right? I always aspired to be this way because his spirit, his energy is so strong that nothing ever changes his attitude. Like he always has a positive attitude at all times. I've never even seen the man frown before. I seen this man lose $20,000, like a wad of cat, like he lost $20,000 and still was smiling. Like I've never seen this man upset before, and I aspire to be that way even to this day, right? So J Rock, right? J Rock was like, "You want to do like fried rice." The first day I got the bag, which was the next day after Easy Mac showed me what was going on. So what they do is they take you on a day of observation. You go out there, you see what's happening. You see somebody that's really good at this make a bunch of money in your face, right? The whole point of that is to get you to be excited about the business. Is to get you to be like, yo, I could do that. he making money. I could do that. Like they make it look easy, right? And that's why his name is Easy Mac. His name is Earl, so they call him Easy. But I always called him Easy because he really make it look easy. He still make it look easy. This bull is a monster. Like if you, he a monster. He a monster. So I wish he would come in this live too, so he can attest to this. But anyway, they take you on a day of observation. You get to see someone that's good at it doing it. After that, they take you back in the office and they ask you for the second interview. They ask you, do you think this is something that you could do? Of course, by that moment, I'm like, give me my bag today. I'm trying to do it right now. And they like, hey, ho. We stop at 6 o'clock. By now, it's like 6:37. I'm watching everybody do they settle up. I watch Tony Stacks. I watched Tony. Look. Easy Mac done commented on the post. You need to come in this live right now, bro. Somebody tag Earl Sewell. Somebody tag Motivation. Where is he at? Where is he at? So I'm like, bet. Of course, this is something I can do. You already know. So the next day, I get my first bag. My very first bag, I sell 6 pieces the first day. Now, mind you, 6 pieces is all they're giving you. They're only giving you 6 perfumes or colognes, 3 and 3, the first day because they want to see what you really actually want to do. As a distributor, a new guy, you're supposed to sell 6 a day. As a leader, you're supposed to do at least 10 a day. I did 6 my first day. Yo, I lied to you not. I did 6 my first day. It took me 6 months. You hear what I'm saying? It took me 6 months to sell 10 perfumes in one day. Like it took me forever, bro. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't reach 10. I would hit 8, I would hit 9, I would hit 7. And I only had from 12 p.m., 12 noon to 6 o'clock. So you got 6 hours. And just for the life of me, I just could not sell 10. And it took me forever to do so. But everything happens for a reason. I'm gonna tell you the reason for that in a second. So we out there, we in the mix. Easy Mac is training me. I get trained by Rashida. She was a monster. She from 52nd Street in Philly. If you don't know where 52nd Street at, that's like the commerce capital of West Philly. Then I was trained by Melissa. She's a monster. When I tell you Melissa a monster, yo, she took us to Jersey one time, and I seen her collect $1,000 in my face, like in her hand, cash. For me, this was before we was doing cash. Before cash had existed. This was before Zelle existed. Before Venmo was even thought of. This was before all of those electronic payments. Apple Pay didn't even exist. We had iPhones, but Apple Pay didn't even exist at the time. You feel me? So we were just in the mix. We would go outside, every door, every store, every floor, every whore. That was the motto. We hitting every door, every store, every floor, every whore. We talking to every person that we see. We pitching anybody that has a heartbeat. You understand me? We qualifying all the customers. We using the law of averages. We using the 4, 5s, and 8s, which is the which is the 4 factors of impulse, the 5 steps to the conversation, and the 8 steps to success. This is literally the system that's inside of my book called The Science of Winning. If you click the link in my bio, you'll be able to go see that book, or go to merchlifej.com if you're watching this from Twitch or Twitter or YouTube or Facebook. Go to merchlifej.com and get a copy of that book. But I finally got good at this, right? So now at this point, 6 months, 8 months later, I'm doing 10 pieces every single day. Like it's not even difficult. I'm doing 15 and 20 and 17 pieces. So we end up going to Baltimore to open a new office. First, hold up, let me go back. First, remember, Zayden was born in 2010. I just got introduced to this business in September. In September of 2010, he was just born in March, right? He was just born in March, and his mother was like going through some things or whatever. He ended up staying with his grandma. I ended up getting custody of him in 2012, like full blown physical custody. So rewind. In the interim period, right in between when he was staying with his grandmother, and he was like 1 year old, like full time. I'm talking about 60 hours a week merchant. I would merch on Sunday. I'd be the only person merching on Sunday, so I made all the money. I would merch at night after 6 o'clock. I was the only person merching at night, so I would make again all the money. I used to go from 49th Street on Market Street, 49th and Market, so that from that first bar on 49th and Market all the way to 63rd Street, and then come back on the other side of the street and do the same thing. So I was really in the mix. Like they used to call me Juicy J. You know what Juice stands for? Join us in creating excitement/expansion. So I was the top recruiter. Not only was I the top recruiter, but I was also the main person that got everyone excited in the office before it was time to go sell the stuff. So the way the office runs is you come in the morning, you get there about 8 o'clock. At 8:30, we do an impact meeting. We might dance a little bit, we might talk a little bit. I'm gonna give you a lesson on how to do what we do. I'm gonna talk about one of the 5 steps of the conversation, or the 8 steps of success, or the 4 factors of impulse. And it's a sales office. Sales office. It's high energy, high vibration. Everybody's screaming. Everybody. It's a call and response type thing. I'm like, hey guys, and it's 40 people like, hey what? And I'm talking to them and I'm telling them something, and then I'm like, hey guys, and they like, hey what? And it's just back and forth. Like it's just super duper high energy. You ever been to a pep rally? It's like that. It's just like that. A pep rally before a football game. It's just a lot of air horns. It's all of that, right? So I used to run those meetings. Why did I run those meetings? Because I'm excited all the time. That's why I used to run those meetings, right? Mac used to be like, bro, you trying to do this meeting today? And I'll be like, woo, you already know. And he'd be like, yeah. But they needed that in the office. And I wasn't the only one. Easy Mac was excited too. He used to run the meetings as well. He used to run the meetings and then pass them to me, and I would finish them. So back to the story. Um, at one point, my entire squad, which was the Soul Squad, remember I was on Easy Mac's team, and it's a pyramid, right? It's a pyramid. So I'm on Easy Mac team, but Tony is above me because Tony recruited me. So it was Easy Mac, and it was Tony Stacks. Thank you for buying the badge. I appreciate you. Get excited. You already know. Let me get that wave in. Hey, Rachel bought the first badge. Let's go. Yeah, y'all can go on Instagram and buy a badge if you like. Y'all can send me some stars on Facebook. Y'all can do whatever it is on Twitch. Get excited. And everybody on Twitter, I appreciate you watching too. I don't know if it's something that you can do on there because I don't even got 1,000 followers on there. But get excited. Let me turn this video off. So eventually, my team goes to Baltimore, Maryland to open a new office. Now, this really resonates with me because I lived in Baltimore from the year 2001 to the year 2007. And in 2008 beginning of 2008 is when I actually moved back to Philly. I was in Philly for 2 years. Huh? But it's not going through. Oh, you're trying to buy a badge, but it ain't going through. I don't know. Maybe you like exit and coming back or something. Maybe it's Instagram. So in 2001, I lived in Baltimore all the way up to 2007, 2008. In 2008 is when I met Zayden's mother in Philadelphia, right? Everything happens for a reason, like I told you. So my squad eventually goes to Baltimore to open a new office. The way that these companies run, we go to one city, we blow up the business in that city, and we take the top 5 performers. That means the top best salespeople out of that office, and we bring them to a new office in a new city for them to recruit new people in that new area, right? And as they do that, they are in their mind selecting the top 5 people that are from here that we are going to leave this office to, because those top 5 that came from that first city are going to go to a new city after this. So the whole object of the game is to duplicate yourself and to grow. It's just like merchology, like I told y'all before. The 9 principles of merchology, right? So you create a system, you systemize it, and then you duplicate yourself, and that way you can go on to do other things while your business is still running itself where you're at, right? What's up, the right warrior? Get excited, you already know. So they went to Baltimore, and I'm still in Philly, right? I'm the top performer in the Philly office. Everybody else that's at my level went to Baltimore. They in Baltimore smashing, they killing it right now. The biggest office in the company. It's like 45 people in that office. So eventually, the time comes for me to leave. The time comes for me to go to Baltimore. I go to Baltimore, right? And when I get there, oh Lord, when I get to Baltimore, there are 7 of us in a 1-bedroom apartment. My manager's manager is So remember, Tony Stacks was my manager. Easy Mac was his manager. And then Corey, which is now known as C. Evans, he's a world-renowned artist. This man is this man is a beast. Go look him up, C. Evans. C as in like with your eyes, SEE_Evans, regular spelling, Evans. He's a world-renowned artist right now. And he was the manager of the Baltimore office at the time, right? And by the way, shout out Valerie Love. That's Valerie Love's son. And this is why I love this family, bro. But everything happens for a reason, and I'm gonna continue to tell you why. I lived in Baltimore as a child, mind you. I come to Baltimore as an adult, as I'm merchant, and I start to see people that I knew. I start to see things that are familiar to me, and I start to notice that I kind of have an advantage on the people that are here. They don't know Baltimore the way I know Baltimore. They don't know people the way I know people. They don't have connections on Park Heights and Belvedere like I do. Because when I lived in Baltimore as a child, I was a junior deacon at this church that my mother became ordained at. This is the church my mom became an ordained minister. And we literally used to hit Park Heights and Belvedere with the merch at least twice a week. So, when I come through, I'm selling out immediately. They're like, bro, how are you doing 25, 30 pieces on this same block every week? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Because I'm merchant on Sunday too. So you think I'm not pulling up to the let out of the church? And everybody's like, oh, Jeremy, you got so old, man. You big now. What you got, man? Yeah, what I got, man. You already know. So I'm selling everything to all the old church members. I'm also selling everything to all of the people that I knew that were just around the way. And then I'm also selling things to the people that were in the county, the people that I went to school with, the people that I kind of grew up with for those 7 years. So again, I had a bigger advantage on everyone that was in the Baltimore office because I had history with Baltimore, right? And they didn't find that out until later on in the game. It wasn't cheap, but I was still giving all my money to the company because we were paying rent to the company because the company was renting the apartment. And again, it was 7 of us in a 1-bedroom apartment, big, ginormous living room. 5 of us are sleeping in the living room. 2 of us are sleeping in the bedroom. This will be a book. He said, is this a book? This should be a book and an audio book. I'm actually going to transcribe this live into a book when I'm done with this live. So thank you for saying that, the right warrior. But I definitely had that in mind. Get excited. I appreciate you, bro. You already know. So and this is another thing too, bro. This is what I do when it comes to these books. So I'm in Baltimore. I'm making hella dough. I'm making hella cash. They like, y'all, it's time for y'all to go back to Philly. Y'all did what y'all supposed to do. And it's time to open the St. Louis building. So we go from Philly to Baltimore to St. Louis. And the 5 people that were chosen to go to St. Louis are not the 5 people that were chosen to go to Baltimore, mind you. We were still building up new teams. So my man Carlos, shout out Carlos Hernandez, you already know. But shout out my man Los C4 in the building. Tick, 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 boom. You already know. That was his tagline. So I had to say that for him. Get excited. So Carlos went to with his team, with Preston and all of them, with C4 and Shakira. Carlos went to St. Louis and opened the St. Louis office. At that time, we came back to Philly. I came back to Philly on July the 4th. I had a warrant for my arrest that was at least 2 years old from back when I was, full-time drug dealer. I got arrested July the 7th. My court date was a month after that, right? So my court date was 30 days after I got arrested. And it was just for a failure to appear. So I did not go. So when I got arrested, the first time, I did not go to court the next day. I was literally living on 60th and Market in an abandoned house, in a house that I don't know what happened to that house, but the water wasn't on. I had illegally turned the electricity on. I paid a crackhead $50 to go in the basement and do whatever he did, and we had power. So we was in there playing Xbox, but we couldn't take a dump. We couldn't pee nowhere. We was literally peeing out the back window into the alleyway. The bathroom window, we would pee out the window into the alleyway. Like, it was that real, right? So at that time, this is when we was sleeping on top of cars and all of that. When we broke into that house, We broke into their house, and it was like the very last, the last resort. You feel me? So anyway, when I got arrested that time, I never went to court the next day. So when I came back to Philly on July the 4th of 2012, I went to jail because I was selling perfumes in front of the deli that I got arrested in front of the very first time I got arrested. Actually, that was the third time I got arrested, but third time I've been to State Road. But I'm talking about originally the thing that I had a warrant for. So my warrant was for failure to appear. So if you have a failure to appear warrant, that's a body warrant. That's not a warrant where they come and talk to you and tell you what you got to go do. That's a warrant where they take you in and they keep you there until you go to court, because now you're considered a flight risk. And a flight risk just means he don't show up for court anyway. So why would we let him go and expect him to come back to court? We're not letting him go until he goes to court. So my court date was 30 days out. July, August. My court date was in August. My birthday is August 25th. When August the 7th came and I was supposed to go to court, they took me out of my cell. They took me all the way downtown on that bus, handcuffed to the chair. They took me under the courthouse where it's freezing cold. I'm talking about it's 28 degrees, literally 28 degrees, because when you locked up, people be stinky. People feet be drawing. They be in there farting. Some people just dookie on themselves. Like a lot of stuff be happening, so they have to keep it a certain temperature so that you're not exposed to a certain amount of germs. Because if you get a certain type of sick, you can sue them in a certain type of way. So to avoid all of that, they keep it a certain temperature. So I got on the same outfit I got locked up in. Mind you, I got locked up on July the 7th. What do you think I was wearing that day? It's July the 7th on 60th and Market in Philadelphia. Do you think I was dressed warm? I was not. I was not dressed warm. So I had the thermals that I had purchased in jail with money from my sister. Thank you, Christina. You already know. Get excited. Um, I had the thermals on, the chucks that I bought in prison, all of that. Well, it was jail. It wasn't prison. So I'm basically wearing all of the jail clothes under, not the jail uniform because you can't do that in court. I'm wearing all of the jail clothes under the regular clothes that I got locked up in. So I have on a pair of thermals, which are long johns, if you will. I don't know where area of the country you're from, but they're basically pajamas, and a pair of shorts. I got on a pair of shorts, like red cargo shorts that I had worn for like 30 days straight, over top of a pair of thermals. I'm just trying to give you a picture because I looked crazy at the time. That day, everyone that was before me that had to see the judge before me, I guess the judge was talking too long or he just took too much time to on his break or whatever. I got sent back to jail because I wasn't able to be seen by the judge that day. So there was no release date. There was no, oh, you've been in here this long, I'm throwing this out. You got booked for you know what I got arrested for originally? Originally I got arrested for 17 grams of marijuana. Something like that. It was less than an ounce. An ounce of marijuana is 28 grams. Or 32 if your dude is generous. But it's 28 grams. So I got arrested for 17 grams, which is less than an ounce, which would have just been a citation at the time. This was before it was completely fully legalized recreationally. You could have an ounce or less without going to jail, right? So I'm sitting in the cell and I'm sitting in the holding cell under the courthouse, and I'm like, dang, when they gonna call my name to go see the judge? I know they're gonna release me when I see the judge. Everybody that knows me, that knows my case, that knows what's going on, knows how it goes. You got arrested for a small amount, this literally called small amount of marijuana. And they said, you about to go home. As soon as you see the judge, they're gonna be like, you've been in here for a month for a small amount of marijuana? Yeah, you can go home, bro. You can go home. Because you're not even supposed to do time for the amount of weed that I had. You're supposed to get a citation, which is like you're supposed to pay them like $40 or something for having it, and then they confiscate it. That's it. So they continued my court date. I'm sitting in jail. I go to the courthouse. I get woken up at 4:30 in the morning to be at the courthouse by 5 o'clock. We go downtown. I'm under the ground for hours. I'm under the ground from about 5 a.m. all the way until 5 p.m. nothing to eat. All you got is a cheese sandwich and a little Deer Park water. The water that's like that big, the little Deer Park joint. They give you one of those and they give you one cheese sandwich. All I ate all day. All I ate all day, bro. I'm in there doing push-ups and leg lifts and whatnot, and that's all I ate all day. 12 hours, sitting in the freezing cold, 28 degrees. Gotta do push-ups to stay warm type time. They send us back to the jail. We go back to the jail, and they give me this piece of paper when I get there, and they like, oh, your court date is postponed for 30 days. I'm like, what? Are you cereal? Are you Captain Crunch right now? Are you Frosted Flakes? So I had to go back to jail for another 30 days just because I wasn't seen the day I was supposed to be seen. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic? But let me tell you something. Let me tell you how the universe works in mysterious ways. Because on the day that I was locked up, July the 4th, I was locked up on July the 4th. I remember because that's an American holiday, July the 4th. I remember because that's the day that Master Fard Muhammad came and revealed himself in 1930. I remember July the 4th. July the 4th, good old system, right? July the 4th was crazy because on July the 5th, my partner Bugs, that was with me that same night that I got locked up, he was kidnapped and shot that night. I was in jail the next day. Bugs didn't wake up the next day. He's alive now. He's alive now, but he didn't wake up the next day because he was kidnapped. They took him to Fairmount Park and they kicked him out the car and they told him that he better run. And they began to shoot at him with a somebody had a Mossberg pump and somebody else had a 380 snub nose. And the revolver is what hit him. The revolver went in his arm and out his arm as he was running from them. And he eventually was found by somebody just driving up the street, laying there bleeding, butt naked, and he was found that way. So I say that to say I wasn't like a kingpin, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't like a mega drug dealer, but I was pretty known. And being as though the name that I chose to use, which was my uncle's name, which had a lot of weight on it, a lot of weight to it, and being from where um, he was from the whole other side of 60th Street, of 62nd Street, and I was on Larchwood, from Larchwood to Market Street using this name. And I'd be on Lansdowne Ave too. I was basically from Lansdowne to Larchwood using this same name. And people heard this name and it might make you feel some type of way, or it might make you feel some type of way. And it could be a good thing or a bad thing. So I was using this name. You feel me? No, not Uptown. Not Uptown at all. Get excited. Westfield. Chill. No Uptown. No Uptown action is going on under my name. Chill out. So I was all over 60th Street, all over from 60th to 63rd, from Larchwood to Lansdowne, using this man's name. And his name, like I said, it held weight. And when people saw who the name was used by, if they didn't understand that that was my uncle, they might have had a problem with me using that name, right? So basically, what I'm saying is, it was some Master Street people did what they did to my partner. Um, I don't know that I necessarily would have lived through that, is what I'm saying. So if that was me or if I was with him, I don't necessarily know that I would be talking to you right now about this situation. Get excited. So that's why I say God works in mysterious ways. You just got to be on the lookout for those ways, man, because you might look at something like it's a hindrance or it's a bad thing, and it might be a blessing. You know, you feel me? So, and I'm about to wrap this up. I'm only gonna be on here for another 9 minutes, another 8 minutes, matter of fact. So, I go and I find that out about Bugs. I send him some cash. I'm like, dang, bro, you already know. Sorry that happened to you or whatever. And I'm locked up doing this, right? I actually had my sister send his sister some money that she was going to send me. I'm like, no, send that to him because this is what happened. And she was like, all right, bet, I got you. So I get out of jail on September the 12th, right? My court date was September the 12th after the August 7th one fell through. September the 12th, I go in front of the judge. The judge is like, "Yo, you in here for a failure to appear? How much weed did you have when you first got locked up?" I'm like, "It was like 17 grams." He was like, "So you had less than an ounce and you didn't come to court, and you know we was only going to charge you $40 for that citation, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't come to court." And the judge was like, "Man, you got to be some type of idiot to do 2 months for what you would have did one night for." And I just looked at him like, what you want me to say, Judge? Like, what you want me to say? He like, "I'm throwing our charges out. Time served. You don't even got to pay the $40. Bam. I stayed in jail for 64 days to be in front of a judge for about 3.5 minutes for him to tell me I could go home. So I went home. After that. September 12th of 2012, I'm home, right? And I'm like, I ain't going back to Philly. I don't know what them niggas got for me. So I'm basically like, I don't want to be in the streets no more. I don't want nothing to do with the street stuff. You know what I'm saying? I stopped gang banging and all of that and everything like that. I definitely was holding my flag in jail though. When I was locked up, I definitely was holding my flag in jail. Get excited. But when I came home, I was like, bro, I don't want to do none of this no more. Like, it ain't getting me nowhere but in here. I don't want to be in here. Definitely don't want to be in here. There's no women in here. It ain't no weed in here. It ain't no, like, all the things that I was into at the time, I couldn't get them in jail. So I didn't want to be in jail, right? So that's what changed my mind about being in jail. That's what changed my mind about being in the streets. That's what changed my mind about merching the other stuff I was merching instead of what I was doing. So anyway, I'm at my sister's house and she got a boyfriend. And he's really masculine, right? He's really like type of dude, right? So I'm like, yo, I need to make some money, but I'm definitely not about to go work at McDonald's. I want to start a business. I want to do this. I want to do that. The mindset that I had from being in New Age wholesale for so long, I did not want to do anything that wasn't doing for self. And mind you, it was only 2 years that I did. You already know. Excited. First and last time. It only took me 2 months to figure it out though. So I'm like, and I ain't saying nothing against you. I'm just saying like I'm glad that it took me 2 months to be like, I'm good. Never going back. We're on 5 years. Congratulations, bro. So he's like, so my sister boyfriend, this is Brian, right? He's like, yo, what you mean you want to start a business? You know, you gotta get a job to start a business. I'm like, not necessarily. He like, well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And mind you, I'm in Delaware, so I can't just go outside and get no money. You need a car to do anything in Delaware, especially where my sister lived at. So long story short, I ended up breaking down and saying, you know what, yo, I'm gonna just go back to Philly because I know that I can get at $1. And he was like, well, if you're doing something illegal, I can't support you. And I was like, no, I ain't gonna do nothing illegal. I'm gonna go merch. I'm not gonna do nothing illegal. I'm gonna use the system. I'm not gonna go buy no drugs or get no drugs fronted to me. I'm gonna use the 5 steps to the conversation, the 4 factors of impulse, and the 8 steps to success. And that was what I did in 2012, man. And in 2012, I went back to Philadelphia. Um, it was probably November. I stayed there from September to November. I couldn't stand it. And in November, everything pivotal always happens for me in November. I get a lot of money in October every year. And normally something unfortunate happens in July every single year since 2012, bro. I promise you. Every single year since 2012. It's almost predictable. Like, it's almost predictable. Something bad gonna happen in July. You're gonna get a bunch of money in October. Something amazing is gonna happen in November. Every year, bro. Every single year. So every year, I promise you, I can look back on my Facebook history and prove this to yourself. I don't gotta prove it to you. So anyway, I'm like, I'm gonna go merch. So at that moment is when I knew that I was gonna elevate. Right? I'm in Philly. It's November now. I link up with Easy Mac. He like, bro, what happened to you? Where did you go? I'm like, yo, I wrote y'all a letter. Y'all niggas was ignoring me. I pulled a letter out. I'm like, this where I wrote it to. He like, damn, you sent it to the wrong address. So the whole time I'm locked up, I'm thinking that all my friends is ignoring me. Mind you, I sent the letter to the wrong address. Duh, duh, duh. And that was crazy, right? So I link up with Easy Mac, Tony Stacks, and Kyle, and we all merching again. And we all in the mix, right? Somewhere in between that time and 2022, which is a 10-year period, I began to sell books, right? I be in 2015, as a matter of fact. And I told you I'm gonna be out of here in a second. So we got 3 minutes left. In 2015, 2 minutes left. In 2015, I started writing books. Me and Easy Mac first published the How to Master the Conversation, and this book was based on the 5 steps to the conversation. We published that first book. Corey, the guy who was our manager, was the illustrator of this book. And this is amazing because all of these people that I knew from the business are the reason that I am where I'm at today. Valerie Love, which is Corey's mom, is the person that taught me how to publish books. She's the person that put it in my head and said, yo, you are bigger than this. You need to write this book, and you need to put something together that's going to last longer than you're going to live. And that's what I did. From that day on, I've been an author and I've been a successful author. And I've used the system to actually sell my books. So do you see how everything coincides at the end, right? I took all of these things that I needed to go through and that I needed to do in order to be the man I am today, right? So I started publishing books. We did How to Master the Conversation. Then we did How to Find Buyers, which is the law of averages. And then me and Easy Mac did a series of 5 books. We did a series of 5 books. Eventually, Easy Mac fell off. He wasn't really with the book stuff anymore. He messed up some money that was supposed to be given to the illustrator. So we had separated for a little while. That was in 2018. And in 2019, I dropped The Science of Winning, which was all 5 books combined into one book. Right? So all the 5 books that me and Easy put together, which was just the system that neither one of us made up. It's a system that we used, and we were the first people to put it in a book. We put that book, I put all 5 of those books together into one book. And that's where you have The Science of Winning. That's where you get The Science of Winning from, right? Now, The Science of Winning has sold over 5,000 copies since it's been published. That means it's a bestseller. You only need to sell 5,000 copies of a book in a 12-month period for it to be a bestseller. So that's why that's a bestseller. Get excited. Now that we have a bestseller, 2020 comes, right? And at the end of 2019, really in May, 2019 of May is when I met Brother Ben X. And Brother Ben X is the reason that you see me at this level on the internet. Now, I already had a following. When I met Brother Ben, I had 3,000 followers. When Brother Ben taught me how to utilize digital real estate, I now have 13,000 followers, right? So in 2020 is from 2020 to 2021 is when I finally broke the 10K record, the 10K threshold of followers. I started publishing other people's books as a form of digital real estate as well. During the pandemic. In 2020, I started publishing other people's books. Fast forward 2 years later, it's 2023. And now I have published over 100 books for other authors, 13 for myself. I'm a 2-time bestseller. I have 5 kids now instead of 1. And I'm just an excited person, man. So that is the origin story of Merch Life from the beginning to now. Get excited. I thank you for coming here and listening to this. It's been about a 54-minute live, yo. I haven't been on live this long in a minute, but I'm about to go eat and I'm about to work out. I love y'all and get excited. If you got any questions, you can DM me. And if you want to join Merch Life University and learn all the things that I know about publishing books, about selling your product, about creating a product, about marketing yourself or your product, if you want to learn how to grow your social media so that they pay you just for being on it, then get excited and go to merchlifej.com right now. You can join Merch Life University, you can join Digital Real Estate, or you can join Merch Life Motives, which is the junior version of Merch Life University. And I'm Merch Life J, motivational inspirational speaker for entrepreneurs across the globe. And I'll see y'all later, man. It looks like I froze on YouTube, but I'll see y'all later, man. You already know. Peace. In stream, maybe? Or no?